A lioness lies trapped, her body crushed in the suffocating coils of a monstrous African python. Her swollen belly, the fragile cradle of unborn cubs, is being squeezed to the edge of destruction. She thrashes, claws tearing at the earth, but no matter how she fights, the serpent's grip only grows tighter. Her golden eyes flicker with a desperate hope, searching the horizon for rescue. Yet in this desolate wilderness, even hope begins to die. This is not just her struggle. It is the story of a ranger, his 3 young lions, and the single lioness he raised with devotion, trained, protected, and prepared to face every danger of the wild. Now, as the ranger searches for his pride, he has no idea that their queen is locked in the most terrifying battle of her life, a battle that may end before he can reach her.
The African sun burned high, and the golden plains shimmered in the heat. The pregnant lioness moved slowly through the tall grass, her heavy belly dragging at her strength. She was searching for shade beneath a broad acacia tree, unaware she was stepping into the territory of death itself. At the base of the tree, hidden beneath the green blades, lay a massive African rock python. Its patterned body was coiled tightly, protecting a clutch of large white eggs. This was its lair, its most guarded secret. The lioness wandered too close. Her paw came down on one egg lying outside the circle. With a sharp crack, the fragile shell shattered. The python's head shot up in fury, tongue flickering, eyes burning with primal rage. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Then, the serpent struck. The lioness spun and bolted, her swollen belly swaying. Her paws tore at the earth, her breath coming in ragged bursts. She roared and cried out, her voice echoing across the savannah as she ran for her life and the lives of the cubs inside her. But the python was relentless. Its body, thick as a man's thigh, surged forward like living lightning. In seconds, it closed the gap. With terrifying force, the serpent launched itself onto her midsection, crushing her ribs, pinning her to the ground. The lioness roared in fury and desperation. She clawed at the coils, raking the air, biting at the writhing body. She twisted, bucked, tried to roll free. Every ounce of her strength exploded in one desperate fight for survival. But it was no use. The python's grip only grew tighter. Every struggle only seemed to make the prison stronger. Her roars turned to choking gasps. Her belly, trapped in the crushing embrace, bulged unnaturally, as though it might split under the pressure. She felt her hope draining, her mind whispering the unthinkable. No one is coming. No one will hear me in this silence. Her cries grew weaker. Her claws scrabbled at the ground, pulling up only dust and broken grass. The suffocating weight pressed down like stone. Her vision blurred. She felt the edges of darkness creeping in. But her last scream did travel. Across the plains, 3 lions exploded into view, a coalition of brothers, the kings of this territory. Their golden manes bristled, their eyes locked on the horrific sight of their sole lioness, their queen, their future, trapped in the coils of a monster. They charged forward, dust billowing beneath their paws. And then, they stopped. They circled, pacing, growling, tails lashing the air, but none leapt. They seemed caught in a spell, paralyzed by confusion. This was no rival lion, no hyena pack. This was a silent strangler they did not understand. One wrong move, one careless strike, and they could kill her themselves. At the edge of the trees, Ranger Ethan Hale burst into view, a conservationist who had followed this pride for years. He saw it all in one heart-stopping glance. The serpent, the fading lioness, the frozen kings. Every rule of his training screamed at him, "Do not interfere. This is nature." But then he saw her eyes, the fire in them fading, her strength slipping away, her body twitching weakly in the coils, her unborn cubs being crushed before they could even breathe. The law of the wild meant nothing in that moment. Only compassion did. Clutching nothing more than a wooden stick, Ethan ran forward. He raised it high, shouted with all the force in his chest, and slammed it down on the python's tail. The spell shattered. The largest lion roared, a sound that shook the ground. He hurled himself at the serpent, claws tearing into its hide. His brothers followed, a golden storm of fury. The savannah erupted into chaos. Claws raped, jaws clamped, scales split. One lion sank his teeth deep into the python's body, shaking violently. Another slashed at its midsection, desperate to rip the coils away from the suffocating lioness. The python thrashed, its strength monstrous, its grip unmoving. The lions fought with everything they had, but exhaustion clawed at their lungs. Still, the coils did not loosen. Ethan knew this was their last chance. His hand closed around the canister at his belt. Pepper spray. He waited. When the python reared its head to strike back, he aimed and fired. The spray hit its eyes and nostrils. The serpent convulsed, hissing in agony. At last, its grip weakened. The coils loosened. With one final violent thrash, it retreated, disappearing back into the tall grass, leaving only blood and dust behind. The lioness collapsed. She lay on her side, unmoving. The lion stood over her, panting, growling, torn between rage and despair. Ethan rushed forward, heart pounding, and dropped to his knees beside her. He pressed his ear close. There, a faint breath, weak but alive. He yanked out his satellite phone. "Dispatch, this is Hale. Pregnant lioness, critical condition, python attack. I need emergency rescue immediately." The reply came sharp and steady. "Stay with her, Ethan. Keep her calm. We're on our way." Minutes dragged like hours. The lions paced restlessly, growling low, eyes never leaving Ethan.
It's okay.
He spoke softly to them,
Just breathe.
his voice trembling but steady. "I'm helping her. I promise." At last, sirens wailed faintly in the distance. Then, out of the dust, the wildlife rescue team arrived, escorted by police. The lions snarled, blocking their path, but Ethan raised his hands, calling them just long enough for the team to act. With precision and speed, the rescuers moved in. They slid an oxygen mask over the lioness's muzzle, fitted IV lines, injected fluids to stabilize her. The sound of the oxygen hissed softly, mixing with the lion's rumbling growls. They lifted her onto a stretcher and into the waiting ambulance. The lions followed for a distance, reluctant to let her go. But finally, they stopped, standing like silent sentinels as the ambulance roared away. At the hospital, veterinarians worked tirelessly. They treated her bruised lungs, eased her breathing, monitored the fragile lives she carried. She did not need surgery, only time, medicine, and care. For days, she lay under watchful eyes, slowly regaining strength. At last, the doctors gave their report. She's recovering. The cubs are safe. Relief washed over Ethan like rain after drought. When the lioness was returned to her pride's territory, the reunion was overwhelming. The 3 male lions rushed forward, pressing against her, licking her face, rumbling soft purrs of joy. For hours they stayed close, refusing to leave her side. Weeks later, the miracle came full circle. The lioness gave birth to 4 healthy cubs, tiny golden lives, squeaking and wriggling nestled against her belly. The coalition of brothers stood guard, eyes softer than ever before, manes bristling with pride. The dynasty had been saved, and Ethan, standing at a distance, understood something he would never forget. Courage is contagious. Compassion crosses every boundary. And sometimes, survival is not just about strength, but about hope, and those willing to fight for it.